Louisiana Beer Reviews looks at Red's Green Apple Ale, 5% alcohol, introduced in 2015, an SAB-Miller brand, certified kosher. Now, Red's Apple Ale was originally introduced in 1996 in South Africa, and it was a few years ago brought over to the U.S. because SAB, South African Beverages, owns Miller. Alright, and this is the green apple version. I had the canned version, so this will be the bottle version. Will there be any difference? I doubt it, but sometimes I think that there's a slight difference. Smoke. Notice I said I think. Could just be in my head. Now, the canned version was okay. I mean, my daughter, she loves stuff like this. I don't really like it. I don't ever think, oh, I really want to drink a flavored beer. Sometimes I'll say, oh, let me review it. Reds. I never could find out if Reds was a small independent company that was bought by SAB or it was just an invention of SAB. You know, like Bartles and James was an invention of Ernest and Julio Gallo. But they made it seem like it was some old guys that started their own little wine cooler company in the late 80s. But they did not. Or mid 80s. Okay, not much head there at all, just like the canned version. Clear, bubbly. Looks like apple juice, you know, the same color as that, you know, that gold apple juice color. I remember back in high school in 85, 86, my teacher in free enterprise said, yeah, you know, he talked about how companies have not shadow companies, but they have brands and they try to portray them as independent. And he was talking about Bartles and James, which was E&J, Ernest and Julio. It's tart. I mean, it's tart like a green apple. It's a lot different than the red apples ale, you know, like a red apple, but tart. Hat got mildew. Sweet. You know, kind of a Jolly Rancher type thing. It does taste kind of like beer, you know. Oh, good. Got that white mold off the hat. There's so much humidity down here, it doesn't take much for things to get covered with mold. Mouth feels medium, light to medium, but more like medium. Yeah, it's tart like an apple and crisp like an ale. It's extremely easy drinking. 5% alcohol, same as Coors or Budweiser. No lacing left behind, really. You know, a little bit, but some people have told me, well, it's just a cider. It's not a cider, and in fact, on the Reds website, they're like insistent. It's not a cider, it's an ale, and they go through all the. They have like a comparison. You know, what is a cider? What is an ale? So they're definitely wanting you to know it is a beer with apple flavor. I don't like it, but that doesn't mean it's bad. I drink apple juice a lot just because I know I should. I never really want to drink it. And I think if you gave this to somebody, they just might think it was apple juice. I mean, there's an underlying kind of blonde ale flavor, but it's mostly just apple. So it's all up to you. Like, you know, in the world of mass-produced flavored beers, it's probably an A. For beer overall, and it's marginally a beer. I guess it's okay. It's like a C. Certainly not bad. It's not unenjoyable. It's better than that Forbidden Traveler Apple Ale, which is probably more like a beer with that thick, foamy wheat beer-like head, but the flavor just was not too enjoyable. All right, so laissez les bon temps rouler, let the good times roll, but not necessarily with this. I think I would much prefer the Natty Daddy 6% or 8%. And I'm going to end this review by saying, y'all come on down to New Orleans and go to a Tulane University baseball game. Go Green Wave!